Hello, welcome back to the Woodwork channel. Welcome back to the Press Box. This week, I'm your host, George Edwards. I've got Luca alongside me as well. And we've got Axel returning. How are you, Axel? Welcome back.
Very good, thank you very much. How are you?
All right, mate. And today we've got a guest who is on the Football Coaching and Management UCFB course and is also in charge, setter, founder of the Charlton Chronicles YouTube channel. It's Josh Willcox. Welcome to the pod, Josh. How are you?
I'm good, mate. Thank you very much for having me. Quite looking forward to it.
Good stuff. So we're going to have a little interview segment, segment 1. We've got a quiz lined up for us three to take on in segment 2, and then we're going to talk about League One and some news topics in segment 3. So let's kick things off then, Josh. The first question we ask all of our guests is, why do you love football? What got you into football?
Young age, I was sort of taken down to the park from my dad. I didn't really have a very good footballing ability. I never have. Hence why I've gone into coaching more nowadays. But it was just playing at the park for ages and ages, and then I'd go home and I would literally sit in front of Sky Sports News all day. From probably about 6 years old all the way up until I started going to games more regularly. My granddad used to call me an encyclopedia of football, so I was just I always enjoyed that side of things rather than playing. Always enjoyed watching it, always enjoyed learning sort of the facts about it, rather than actually playing football. My brother's a good player. That's sort of the one that in the family that it has the technical ability. But yeah, I was brought up. My first ever game was Spurs versus Charlton. So my dad's a Spurs fan, my granddad's a Charlton fan. So I was a mascot, but unfortunately I was on the Spurs side for that one. So I was a Spurs mascot.
At White Hart Lane or
at White Hart Lane?
Oh,
Yeah,
wow.
it was at White Hart Lane.
Yeah.
But
Look where he's gone.
yeah, exactly. I was brought to the proper ground eventually by my granddad. But yeah, no, I got a soft spot for Spurs because of my dad. And that was my first ever game. And then eventually I stopped going to sort of more regular games and then got back into Charlton. My granddad started taking me. And then 2018-19 we went up. That was my first year out of season ticket. And then sort of since then I haven't looked back.
What were your memories of that day as a mascot at White Hart Lane? That must have been cool.
I can remember like having a chat with Harry Redknapp randomly.
Okay. Yeah.
Like my shirt's signed by some very good players. I mean, I've got Gareth Bale, Luca Modric. Obviously, then you've got your Jermaine Defoe's, your Peter Crouches, Michael Dawson. I can remember. Yeah. Well, I walked out with Dawson because I was the smallest player there, the smallest kid there. So
he's like the tallest, though. How's that?
So
fair?
you get with captain. So
Oh,
you
of
put
course.
Front,
Yeah.
Yeah. So I was first out the tunnel.
That was your first ever football game?
That was my first ever football game. Yeah.
How old were you?
It would have been 2010, so 7.
I'm going to YouTube it.
What's the highlights?
But yeah, because you were with the captain, you got to have a kickabout with them first before the game. And he passed me the ball, and I'll never forget. This is like the one memory that sticks with me is I went and scored instead of passing back to him. So no, I was meant to be having a kickabout with him. Instead, I dribbled and kicked it in the net instead, in front of the North Stand. So obviously, like the North Stand is quite iconic at White Hart Lane. So yeah, that's one memory that always does stick with me in terms of
give it the big into the crowd.
I can't remember that much. I remember Dawson like shouting at me, go no this way. I remember that, but
He just didn't listen.
he just I'm
No,
about
he
to score
had
at
a
White Hart
big
Lane,
player.
didn't I? Yeah.
So you spoke about playing football and struggling. Now I'm the same. I love football, but I've never been able to play football at all, and I much preferred watching or coaching or doing that things. Did you ever feel disheartened that you couldn't play football, or did you always get over it quite easily?
No, well, I played. I just played to what I could. Is
Yeah.
sort of the way of thinking of it. I lived in Singapore when I was younger, so
wow.
I played out there. I played a good level then, but apart from that, I'd never really sort of got on well with English football. I enjoyed my Sunday league though,
Yeah.
but I was forced right back as soon as I got to under 13 and sort of stuck there for most of my sort of teen years. And as soon as you get into a fullback position, you know you're.
Oh.
Sorry, mate.
Well, I managed to play up front for the last 2 years of my footballing career, but I think they just wanted me completely out of the way.
What, just away?
Yeah, literally, just get him up there.
What were
You
the
might
goal
miss.
scoring stats?
I think I scored 16 goals one year.
That's all right.
But then
all right.
next year was then next year was like 4, and then the last year I played, I got like my manager's player of the year award, and it was
With 4 goals?
It was it was for dedication and attitude.
Oh, so
And
you was a workhorse.
Yeah, there you go. And they gave out 2 manager of the year awards. So they gave out the real one and the
And then they
pity
gave you
one.
one.
I was like, yeah, I think this is time to call it a day, to be honest. So you said you sort of watched and coached.
Mm-hmm.
Did you ever have was there one that sort of stuck out to you more, or as you were growing up, or did you always like both?
What in terms of watching football or coaching it?
Yeah.
Well, I started coaching when I was 15. I took my little brother's team. Was the first sort of coaching that I had. But that's a tough question. That is a really tough question. What do I enjoy more, coaching or watching? I enjoy both quite equal because I watch to develop my coaching, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So like, I've got a very analytical mindset. Like that's what I want to go into. I want to go into analysis-based stuff. And because of that, going to Charlton games, watching Charlton games, like watching clips back, going on sort of like Y Scout and having a look at certain instances from the game is sort of what I enjoy doing. But then that also helps me with my tactical side of coaching as well. So yeah, I think both come hand in hand, really. I don't think there's one that I prefer more over the other.
What's more stressful, watching Charlton or watching a team that you're coaching?
Oh, that's a good question as well. This season probably coaching. Last season, definitely watching.
Okay. Depends how Charlton are doing. Basically.
Yeah, basically, yeah. I think it is one of them. I know, like this season, we lost 2-1 to Crawley last month, or a couple of months ago now, and next day I got sent off at coaching because my head was just still gone from the game. 15 minutes into the game, been sent off. So yeah, that was an experience. But I think they definitely come hand in hand in terms of that. But more stressful. I think it is probably more stressful coaching because that's your responsibility.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas when you're a fan, you're a paying fan. That's down to the players and the coaching staff there. So
but equally, you've not got control of that. That stresses me
Yeah.
out more.
And
Maybe.
Yeah,
you've got people next to you to moan to as well.
Yeah.
exactly, yeah. No, I
Instead
can.
of players moaning at you.
But you can never like just watch a game of football, can you? Because you're always thinking,
Yeah.
analysing, and is that not frustrating?
No, that's sort of always the mindset I've had. So I've always, my mates always say it, like when I'm at games and stuff, and I say certain things like analytical wise, or like, oh, the left back's drifting out too much,
It's
something like
watch
that.
the game.
And they're like, yeah,
Yeah,
exactly
yeah,
that. But then my other mate's like a referee, and he like constantly, I know the ref was right there. I said, shut up.
Yeah.
He'll know.
I think they'd rather
Yeah,
you than him, to be
yeah,
fair.
exactly.
So coming to this uni, people obviously come to have a career in football.
Mhm.
When was it that you realised you wanted to have a career in football?
Do you know what? Funnily enough, it was when UCFB came into my school. So I was,
Oh, wow.
when I was in year 10. So I had my heart set on coming here from sort of 14, 15.
So you'd never had a thought of that before that then, really? I suppose year 10, you're not really thinking about the career.
I was thinking about, I wanted to become a teacher, was sort of always what I wanted to do. Wanted to become a PE teacher, so that was sort of my main mindset. And then when I got into coaching, it's sort of, now I'd happily do both, but if there's a coaching opportunity and sort of going into the elite game, then I'm going to take that over PE teaching, obviously.
Yeah. And then from year 10, then were you working towards getting to UCFB? Was that your main
So
mindset?
I did my level 1 just before lockdown, and then obviously all lockdown happened, UAFC was up in the air, and I got my UAFC last summer. So it's sort of, it's been a long time coming getting that done, but I've done a lot of coaching in that time before getting my UAFC. So I've done grassroots all age groups now, and I've done obviously like university football. I've helped out in men's teams, helped out in women's teams. So I've done a bit of everything now to see sort of what I enjoy the most.
Yeah.
And that's definitely benefited me in terms of my actual coaching career.
Was coaching always the route then? Because you do a lot of media stuff at the minute as well. So was that ever in your thoughts, or was it always coaching for you?
Yeah, it was definitely in my thoughts. I said it actually after my first year at uni. I actually said to Mum, I don't know whether I should have gone down a media route now.
Right.
But then got back into my coaching again, started taking a uni team last year, and that sort of made me completely fall back in love with my coaching.
Yeah.
I think I had some sort of bad experiences in terms of how I was treated by people higher up in terms of where I was coaching.
Okay.
And that sort of made me feel like maybe I should have gone down the media route. Maybe I should have stayed behind the scenes rather than actually being out on the field. But got back into it, fell back in love with it, and yeah, haven't looked massively at the media part in terms of obviously like the YouTube started that summer that I had that for. And then since then it's sort of been a balance of both.
Yeah.
I quite enjoy doing both. I quite enjoyed talking about the football, so that's why I started that channel.
Okay.
What do you think's been the most sort of beneficial or sort of coaching program you've done that you've learned the most as a coach that you've done over the years? Because you've done quite a lot of things for somebody who's what, 20, 21?
21, yeah. That's another tough question.
Tough questions here today.
Yeah,
That's what
that
we're winning
is. In terms of what I learnt the most, probably would have been my under-16 group I had last year.
Who was that for?
It was just a local team around here, so
Okay.
it's a grassroots team, and they were very much like season before they'd won the league, and instead of just being bumped up one league because they'd won it unbeaten. They bumped them up 3 leagues, so it was a very different change. Like start of the season, they were getting battered. Obviously, I hadn't coached them before, so I'd come in sort of September straight away, and there was new players in the squad. It was quite a big squad. In terms of I had to adapt my sort of coaching style as well, because I'd only coached younger age groups before. So going into sort of an under 16 environment, you know, they like to have a bit of a laugh with you and things like that. So it completely changed how I coached, but it was the turnaround from the start of the season when sort of you're trying to implement my style of play rather than the coaches before. Yeah. So I think towards the end of the season, I think from January onwards, we only lost 1 game for the rest of the season.
Oh, that's not bad.
So before Christmas, I think we won 1.
Yeah.
So that was the difference in terms of the start of the season and then the end of the season. And we got to the cup semi-final as well. So it was we were quite happy with how I'd done it in the end. And then we finished 3rd at the Emirates as well in a tournament as well. So
the Emirates.
Yeah.
Wow.
That was quite cool. Then, yeah. It's just a little 7-a-side tournament that they do in the summer. So there was 8 teams involved, 8 under 16 teams. You have to pay to enter. It's quite expensive, I think. But we ended up finishing 3rd out of the under 16s category. Probably should have won the semi-final as well, but it was we won the 3rd place playoff on penalties. So take a little bronze medal. Yeah. Hangs up on my.
It's not bad at all.
We'll take that.
Yeah.
So what's your? I was thinking, what age can you implement a style of play? Because you start coaching under 8s, under 9s, and you teach them how to kick a ball, how to pass. And what age do you think you can implement the sort of things you want to do?
I think you can do it young.
Yeah.
I think you probably can do it from
under 8.
Yeah, you can. I mean, like that's when academies start looking at players is under 8s. You can obviously you coach the technical part of it, but being able to tell a player the tactical side of things at that age, you just have to break it down into simpler terms. Whereas that's why I quite enjoyed the under 16s because they understood it and they'd bring me ideas as well. It wasn't just like with sort of like a younger age group. Like probably I'd say under 15s, under 16s is when players begin to completely develop their sort of they know whether they wanted to go into coaching as well. Like I had a few of my players want to get into coaching, so they understood the tactical side of the game really well. So I think at that sort of age group you can begin to make it a bit more advanced. But you know your players. That's another thing as well. You've got to understand the level you're coaching at, what sort of players you're coaching, and the relationships you can sort of create with them makes it easier to talk about your sort of style of play and what you want from them.
Yeah. So what's your ambition then, coaching? Because you've mentioned a lot of sort of analysis that you like to do as well. So are you thinking now, in 3rd year now, are you going towards more analyst's route, or do you want to keep on the ground coaching?
Last year I was very much, I want to do the analysis side of things. This year I like a mix of both. I quite like someone else clipping up the games for me and then me being able to look for them. You know, even with like the second team at uni, we've got an analyst that clips the games for me. And then I just sit and watch through like all the key clips that he's got from the game. And then I'll make notes off that rather than watching the whole game back, because I feel like you can get a lot from the whole game, but also I trust my analysts to bring me sort of that side of things that will help develop the coaching side of it. A coach analyst is quite a big role that's happening in football at the moment to get around cost cutting. So that's sort of the role that I want to go into. That's most of the masters placements I've applied for are coach analysts. Yeah. So that's sort of the route I want to go. I want to do a bit of both rather than focusing on one. It depends what better opportunities there as well. If I get onto A for B, then I'll go into a bit more academy coaching. Whereas if I don't get my O for B, I'll stay on the analysis side of things and push on until I get my O for B.
And go on.
It's crazy how many people there are behind the scenes though, because I was covering a Dulwich game on Tuesday night, funnily enough, against Charlton. Albeit they're under 21. We did win 2-0, but you know.
You're part of Dulwich now.
We had to let someone else win the London Senior Cup this year. 2 years on the bounce, didn't want to do it free.
There's so many people behind the scenes. There was like 6, 7, 8 members of the Charlton staff, and that's not even counting the management team. I assume 2 or 3 of them were analysts, and then probably a couple of scouts there as well. And that's at a London Senior Cup game against Step 3 non-league.
And they must be full time. Well,
they will be. The academy staff will be full time.
So what about routes into full time coaching then? How, I suppose you've looked into that world. Is it quite an easy thing to get into, or do you have to find a way to stand out?
It's not easy. I mean, like, you think how many
more than a degree as well.
You know, there's 92 clubs in the football league that are professional, obviously. That's your aim. You think how many coaches are in each team? You're probably looking at about 5-6 each first team in that set. Obviously, as soon as you get to the Prem, you're looking at 9-10, but sort of the general average will be about 5-6 coaches across the board. And then you've got all your backroom staff, so analysts as well. I know I had an opportunity at West Ham that unfortunately fell through. So I was doing a placement this year at West Ham and it fell through on the day I was starting. But that sort of department, I was going into the performance analysis department, and just in that there was 6 of us, just in performance analysis. Bear in mind, you've then got your sports science analysts, you've got your recruitment analysts. So there was a lot of people there, if that makes sense. There was a lot of backroom staff. So it depends what you want to do. Coaching wise is very, very difficult to get into, but you have got to stand out. You've got to take the opportunities that you get. But the one thing with professional football though is it's not what you know, it's who you know, and that is one big thing that I am on. Like, I want to network as much as possible. Like, I've spoken to like academy coaches and stuff like under 21s managers and things like that. I'll speak to them on LinkedIn all the time just so that they know my name, they'll recognise my name, things like that. So that's one big thing for me. Even like I messaged Lee Johnson, obviously got sacked by Hibs last, I think. Text him on LinkedIn just for a bit of like advice. It was funny enough, my under-16s last year, and he came back and was like, adapt to sort of have your identity, know what you want to do before you go back into sort of that coaching. So he helped me as well on LinkedIn as well. So he was a big help.
Do you think the uni helps? Because the uni talk a lot about networking and their links to the industry, but do you think they genuinely are a big benefit?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, like the placement that I got at West Ham, I wouldn't have got without sort of the university. They were a massive help with it. Dan Ampedu obviously does the analysis side of things. He helped me out with it, and also Ricky as well. Ricky's a coaching lecturer. He was a big part as well. I went to him sort of last year saying like, I don't know where my head's at in terms of uni, and he was like, don't drop out, go do a placement. And he just sent me a bunch of placements he could find, and then obviously unfortunately it did fall through, but now going into my third year, I'm looking at more placements, and I've grown closer to Dan because of that, and that's obviously a big part in terms of, as I said, it's who you know. You want to network with the lecturers as well, and massive. We've got a pro licensed coach teaching us. A lot of all of them A license, and then Rich is pro license. So yeah, they're very, very good people to have around and to get advice off of.
Yeah, 100%.
So if we bring it back to the media stuff then, so you've got the Charlton Chronicles YouTube channel. When I checked, it was 1.6k subscribers. Is that about right?
Yeah, that sounds about right, yeah.
So obviously you set it up last summer, was it, or the summer before?
It would have been 2023, yeah.
Yeah. So what was the inspiration behind that? Was there a gap in the market, or was it just something you wanted to do for yourself?
I've always wanted to do vlogging, so that's how I sort of started. I always wanted to go into it. I recorded a couple of games and then wasn't happy with the final edit, so I didn't do it. And then it sort of, me and Nick went to Croatia versus Netherlands, and I vlogged that I think it was in Rotterdam. So I vlogged that, and overnight that was on 15k views, and I was like,
wow.
How's that? Like, what's happened there? I actually uploaded it at 1 a.m. and then next morning I've woken up. I think we flew to Malta for the Malta England game after that, and I was literally we got.
Did you vlog that one?
Yeah, I did. Yeah, I vlogged that one. That one didn't do as well, but it was sort of like that first vlog doing that well sort of made me go, right, now I'll go into it a little bit more. I think it did help that a lot of my viewers were from Croatia on the video, and I think they won that game 4-2 after. It went to extra time. It was a brilliant game of football. But that vlog will always be one of my favourites as well, because it wasn't just the game. It was sort of like our trip out to the Netherlands, how we got there, what we did in the Netherlands, like things like that.
Before?
No, I'd never been before.
Wow. That's good over there.
And I really, really liked it. So that side of the vlogging I enjoyed doing, and then went back to Charlton, started doing that. That started sort of flowing, and then I went to Nick and Tyler Rowlinson. So he had a big YouTube channel, like Charlton YouTube channel back in the day. So I texted him and was like, do you want to do something? And then he got another YouTuber as well involved. So then we had the 4 of us. So it was me, Tom, Tyler and Nick were the original 4 for the Chronicles. And we started doing it every Wednesday night. And, we haven't really looked back since. And then now this season we're Wednesday and Sundays. So we've been able to grow it to that extent. And we've now got a partnership with the club as well.
Yeah.
So
nice. I was going to talk about that. Obviously, I think you went to the director's box for a game against Bolton, was it?
Yes.
And you do a lot with the club. Did you have contact with them before, or did any of you guys, or is that just built over time?
Nick works for the ticket office.
Okay.
I work for the community trust.
Yeah.
So I do coaching for the community trust, and I help out on a match day as well. So I run the like little fan zone pitch for the kids before a game. So there's links, but that didn't sort of come. That's not how it came about. So they did a season ticket campaign last year, and it was like fans could apply to do it. And then he messaged me, the marketing guy Billy, like emailed me and was like, "I've seen your YouTube and stuff. Like, we'd love to get you involved in the season ticket campaign." So me and Nick went down, did a bunch of photos, did like an interview and stuff, and that was really, really good. Like, they got a lot of fans involved in that, and from that I built a relationship with Billy. And as soon as I put out saying we were looking for sponsors for the Chronicles, he texted me straight away and was like, "We'd love to get the 16 to 20 zone involved in that."
Wow.
And yeah, we were able to make a deal, and that's massively sort of benefited our growth as well, because sort of that sponsorship money helps us to grow it out and promote it a little bit more, rather than sort of just the basic old setup that we had prior to this season.
Yeah. And what does it mean, you obviously who runs the channel, but you as a fan as well, to have a club that's willing to invest in something that's for the fans, for the community, that particularly me as a Premier League fan now, I could never see Forest doing that, or Spurs, I don't know.
You see any of them doing it.
So what does it mean to you as the owner of the podcast, as the YouTube channel, and as a fan to see Charlton doing that?
Oh, it's huge. Like, we've had so many ownership issues over the years. Roland being the first one, still owns our ground and the training ground. Like, he's still not fully gone. We then obviously had the fake Arab owners, Matt Southall being involved in that, and that's a name that sort of is renowned as a sort of a guy that kills a club. I mean, he almost killed Rochdale. I think he was involved with Bury as well when they went under. So yeah, it's one of those that as soon as we had him, we're close to administration. Sandgaard came in. He had the money, didn't have a clue what to do with it. And then we've got a good group of owners. Obviously, Charlie Meffen's got his sort of Sunderland till I die, so he's sort of got that reputation. But the wrong people that were in control of the club, and not Meffen. So Meffen was one obviously big person. Rodwell's a big person as well. We've had Andy Scott, who was our director of football. He's been sacked now, so that was sort of down to the recruitment side of things. Like that, we haven't been where we want to be. We want to be back in the Championship. It's what our aim's been since we dropped back down. And now this is our 5th season in the league as well. So
it's amazing how quick that goes, isn't it?
Yeah. So,
do you think people still just don't take Meffen seriously?
I don't think people outside of Charlton take him seriously. I think when he came in, everyone's going, "Oh, not Charlie Meffen. You don't want Charlie Meffen involved. You don't want him near your club." But as soon as sort of he's in and around it, he is a really, really top bloke. Like whenever I've spoken to him, like he'll happily have chat with fans. Even like last season when we were doing terribly, I think there was a few fans on the way back from, I think it was Burton away, were saying to him like, "You've got to sack him," and he was going, "Yeah, well, we know. We're looking at doing it." Like, he was completely open. Like, we know it's poor. Like, they invested, I think they invested about 900,000 in the club last January. And a January transfer window in League One is a lot. And that sort of kept us up in the end. We were staring at relegation when we were under Appleton, and they turned it around, brought in a very, very good manager. And again, it's not what you know, it's who you know, in terms of Nathan Jones. Had links with the club prior to come in, and then obviously brought in all his Luton ex-players, and are doing all right now, so hopefully it kicks on.
Well, I've not got my earpiece in, but I can feel the Gary burning and telling me to wrap it up. So I'm going to ask you one two-part question to end. Firstly, what's your ambition with the channel going forward? And secondly, what's your sort of thoughts on Charlton going forward?
So the ambition with the channel, obviously I've stopped doing the vlogs now. Sort of didn't enjoy doing it anymore. I felt like it took over my sort of experience as a fan as such. I really enjoyed doing the interviews and stuff outside the ground. Love doing that side of things.
But in the game, you want to enjoy it.
It's also like,
you sat there filming.
Especially
especially like away games and stuff. It also hindered how much I drunk for games as well, because obviously you don't want to look a state on camera. I mean, there is a few vlogs. I mean, you could probably like go through vlogs and find out. And Bristol Rovers away, for anyone that is watching, I think that one's still up. I've privatised most of the like really drunk ones, but Bristol Rovers away, I had a great time, fantastic time. I think
are they the most popular ones though?
I think there's one clip from that's one of my most popular vlogs. But I think
wouldn't it?
Yeah.
I think I go we're 3-0 down. I'm standing on a chair and I'm 6 foot tall. Just like I was stood on a chair the whole game, just shouting at the squad, and then obviously They're the good vlogs. In terms of ambition of the channel, we've grown the Chronicles, so the team now's made. Oh, how many people are? 9 of us? 9, 10?
Yeah.
Feel bad if I've forgotten anyone. I think there's about 9 or 10 of us now. Obviously, we've got our 4 that do a Wednesday, so I dropped out of the Wednesday show. Emma's doing a fantastic job at hosting that. She's quite a renowned sort of name in the fan base as well. Like, a lot of people know who Emma is. She goes to all the games. She's a fantastic woman. She does so much for me as well as the channel as well. And then obviously I do the Sunday show. So the Sunday show's more our original crew, and then the Wednesday one's made up of obviously Emma's new, Paul's new, and then Tom and Tyler do that one as well most of the time. But ambition, we want to take it. You know, we want to be the number 1 Charlton podcast. You know, we don't like being the number 2.
Yeah.
And as much as I get on well with all the Charlton Live lot, they've been around a lot longer than us.
Yeah.
We've got our niche in terms of we sort of aim at the younger fan base.
Yeah.
Whereas I think they've been going for so long that they've got an older fan base. They've
yeah.
got that. So yeah, we try and make it a little bit more enjoyable, light-hearted. Whereas I think their one's a little bit more like serious, professional sort of style. So that's sort of, it depends what you enjoy more. If you enjoy both sides of things, and that's sort of what we want to push that so that we can get onto their level. That's sort of our aim.
Yeah. And Charlton as a club going forward, ambitions.
I'm surprised you didn't ask me what my thoughts are in terms of. Well, it might come later on, but I don't think we'll go up this year.
Yeah.
I think next year's I want to go up and then just stabilising the championship again.
But you think you've got a manager that can take you
100%.
100%. 5 years, yeah.
100%.
Excellent. Right, we'll leave it there because I can feel the anger coming. It even flicked onto me straight away, so I wrap it up. So we'll be back for segment 2 to do our little quiz.
Welcome, guys. Welcome back to segment 2 of the podcast, where we will be doing a club quiz involving Nottingham Forest, Spurs, and Charlton Athletic. You guys ready?
Yeah. We'll let the guests go first, shall we?
You sure?
Yeah.
No
If you want, do you want to go
yeah,
first?
no, I'll happily go first. The pressure's
I don't
on.
go
me.
first.
I don't want to go first.
I'll ask him a question first, then we'll move to you, then we'll move to you, and we'll keep going.
Yeah. If you get it wrong, then we can chime
Come in
in
and steal.
Yeah.
Here we go.
But I don't think we're going to get any Charlton ones.
This will set the tone.
All right, your first question. Who is the youngest player ever to play for Charlton Athletic?
Oh,
It's difficult. That.
Scott Parker.
Is that your final answer?
Oh,
He was confident with
it's
that.
either him or John Joe Shelby.
We've got on to go to.
Yeah.
Gonna have to push you for an
I'll
answer.
stick with Parker.
Incorrect.
John Joe Shelby.
Well, yeah, well done.
Was
Is
it?
it? I
you
won't
can't
take that
count
Well,
point.
it.
I won't take
Parker
the
was
point.
my first thought, so I thought I'll stick with that. But
Yeah, it's
then I remembered Shelby, who probably was bald at the time. always has been.
all right.
If that's how we were setting the tone, then I'm going to be finished.
Yeah.
Absolutely finished.
You ready?
Yeah.
First question for
No,
you.
oh,
How many first-team permanent signings did Nottingham Forest make across the 22-23 season?
22.
Is that your final answer?
Yeah.
Wrong.
21.
Wrong.
This could be around that, innit?
Is it more?
It is
Can't
more,
help
it is
you.
more, yeah.
19?
You're all wrong. The answer
Right.
was...
So, well, is it 32?
No.
What is it?
It's 24.
Ah.
Yeah, you was close, though.
I was,
Oh,
I was
bad
closest,
guess.
wasn't
Yeah,
I?
you was closest.
Mm.
So the score is what? No,
That's
no.
nil.
Nil-nils.
It's a great
Ready?
start, guys.
You
That's
guys
not
love
how I win
applause.
this, because it's not
Alright.
open help.
You watch it.
Your first question is, in 2014, Harry Kane scored his first Premiership goal against which side?
Mm-hmm.
I feel like it was in a big game. We'll go Arsenal. Why not?
Is that your final answer?
Yeah.
Wrong.
Is it Norwich?
Wrong.
He played for Norwich.
Yeah, I know. Right.
Chelsea.
Wrong. It was Sunderland.
Sunderland.
I thought
Never
I
got
thought
that.
in my head.
I was gonna go Leicester because he's always scored against Leicester.
Always scored against them.
But I
Right.
think
I don't think
they'd have
they were
been
in there.
champ then, wouldn't they? 14, they'd have been getting promoted.
Yeah,
Well, it
they
depends
were
if it was the start or
No, yeah, it depends.
because they were there 14, 15,
15,
weren't
but
they?
not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So nil.
No. What a start.
What a start.
Great start. You ready?
Yep.
Who is Charlton's longest reigning manager?
Feel like it'd be quite. It should be Kirbishley, but it might not be Kirbishley if I'm going further back. I will go with Curbs because I feel like it should be Curbs.
Is that your final answer?
Yeah.
Wrong. You're not gonna get this.
Are we gonna know where to go? No.
what's
Ron
his name?
Atkinson.
Is-
I don't know.
Jimmy Seed.
Yes. Yeah, obviously.
Jimmy Seed.
What is it?
When was that? Do you know when that was?
It doesn't say.
Oh,
on
of
here, to be
course,
fair.
Jimmy
No,
Seed.
Jimmy Seeds. The
Of
away
course.
end is called the Jimmy Seed stand.
Oh,
That's bad.
yeah,
I
that's
know.
not great.
Jimmy Seed would have been my second guess.
Okay.
So
You
It's
should
just
need
not
to
gonna
go
be
with
a
your second
second.
I need to
guesses.
start going to the second. I've
Yeah.
got both of them right. Just too late.
You ready?
No.
Who was Nottingham Forest's captain during the 1979 European Cup win?
Oh, John McGovern.
Oh wow, you actually got that.
Yeah,
Fair
of course
enough.
I'm going to know the captain of when we won the European
Fair
Cup.
enough.
It's quite a big.
He's
Fair
like on my
enough,
bastard
moment.
now. Of course I'm going to know that.
Okay,
I had a wee with him on the way.
You had
not,
a wee.
Not
with it.
literally with him.
Oh,
I weed next to him in the services on the way to a Forest away game a few years ago.
Okay,
So
not bad. Did you speak to him?
yeah, of course.
You want to
What,
go into
while I was
any more
reading?
detail about?
The wee
Yeah,
or the
good
chat. It was a standard wee.
good.
Yeah, no, it was on the way to Bournemouth, I think, and we were just chatting about. I think Ben Watson, because my favourite player at the time.
What, you stopped to talk to him while he was waiting?
Well, we were both stood at the urinals, so I just like, oh hi John.
You just bumped his shoulder.
Yeah.
You're right, mate.
Can we move
Alright,
on?
Yeah, this is gonna go way up.
Alright, you ready?
Sure.
What year?
Sure.
You should get this,
Confidence, Luca.
okay? What year was Spurs founded?
Oh,
I literally said
don't
this
get
right beforehand. I don't know it.
You forgot?
No, I said it if you asked me this.
Oh, okay. You know this, don't you?
No,
Okay.
but I've got a guess.
I've got to guess.
I'll give. I can't even give you a clue. That'd be cheating.
1892.
I think it's 86.
You was close, but not correct.
That would be my guess.
86.
86, yeah.
Nope.
That's what I'd say.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah, no.
1882.
So
Guys
we
are
got
4
closer
years
than
old.
Spurs
So I
fan.
was 10 years out.
That's not bad.
1-0 to George.
It's not
1-0.
good though, is it? 'Cause it's not right.
Okay, so you guys have got 3 questions each left.
Just need to get
Ready
one.
for yours?
Yep, go on.
Third question. Charlton Athletics' highest Premier League finish. What was it?
7th.
Is that your final answer?
That was quick.
It was quick with that first.
Oh,
one
it's
as
7th or
well.
8th. Now I'm second guessing
Go with the
myself
second
again.
guess.
The fact you've said is that your final answer and
I've said that
everyone
for
I've got
every
wrong.
single
Yeah.
It's gonna be 8.
Oh,
Just try not to laugh. It's gonna be 8.
Oh, I don't know what to go with now. You completely killed me.
What should be 11th now?
No, I know it's when Scott Parker left us in January and we were 4th in the league at the time, and we dropped because he left.
Why did he leave?
He went to Chelsea. Money.
Oh, yeah.
Money.
Do I go with the first 4? Yeah, 8th. 7th. No, 7th. So I went with the first one. I meant to go with the first one.
Okay, cool.
7th.
Is that your final answer?
Yeah, I'm sticking with 7th.
Correct.
Got there in the end.
Yeah,
went
helped
8.
him with the pause there.
If he went 8, oh my god. So it's 1-1 so far. You ready for
Yeah.
your question?
I am.
Okay. Third question. Roy Keane had agreed to leave Forest for which Premier League club?
Blackburn. Before he chose Man United, Blackburn.
Well done.
Should have
2-1.
let him finish.
Yeah.
Sorry,
Yeah,
actually.
that's right. You do it. That's an easy one though. Even I knew that one.
Do you know why? Because the secretary didn't sign something.
Yeah, something
and
like
they
he had
didn't
a
ask
meeting
him
or
on the
something.
weekend.
Yeah, he went to a meeting or something, didn't he?
Yeah.
I saw on YouTube.
And on Monday morning, it was.
Yeah. Even I knew that one. That's boring.
To be fair, if you knew one, Axel.
Yeah, exactly,
it's
do you know what I
quite
mean?
an easy one. How do you think you'd have fared on the Chelsea round here?
If we're going historically, I would have been
Yeah.
terrible. Yeah. Yeah. You ready for your question?
Sure.
All right, third question. Spurs' top 3 all-time scorers. 1 point for all 3 correct. I don't know about that.
1 point for all 3.
So if you get, yeah,
you've got to get all
you
three to
get
get a
all
point.
3 correct.
Kane,
Yes.
Jimmy Greaves,
Yes.
and Sheringham.
I was thinking that.
Is that your final answer?
Yeah,
Incorrect. Bobby Smith.
Bobby Smith. Of course.
Oh, that's
Obviously.
so
The
unfair.
classic
He's done
Bobby
well
Smith,
there.
The cult hero. Come on, guess.
So it's what?
2-1
2-1-0.
nil.
You
Give him
need a
half
couple
point.
of points.
Hmm?
Half
Half
points.
point.
Half
No,
points.
no half points.
Agreed.
The pity half.
If I'm gonna have a stinker, I'll have a stinker.
All right. So these are your 4th questions now. You ready?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. During the 2006 and 7 season, which England goalkeeper had a loan spell at Charlton Athletic?
Ooh. I think I know that.
Dear.
Well, it's gonna be wrong now that I do, but
It was if your first point is a non-sport.
Yeah,
That's a Charlton question.
Did Rob Green play for us? I actually don't have a clue. Why is he on Premier League years? I was barely alive. I've got Rob Green in my head, but I don't think he played for us. Is it quite a big name? In terms of England, but is he just
Doesn't give a lot
English?
away,
Is he
does it?
just English, or has he played for England?
You said England international.
So in England international.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll go Rob Green. I'm guessing that. I think it's wrong, but
Is that your final answer?
I can't think of anyone up there. He came in my head first, so I'm trying to think who.
I feel like that's too late for Rob Green.
Too late.
Too early.
I think it's.
Too
But that's my
No, 'cause
thought.
he
Is if
wouldn't-
it's
he-
going out on loan.
he'd
He
been
wouldn't
in
have been
his
loaned out
prime. Yeah.
that early.
Yeah.
Mm.
Oh, it's tough.
Who played for England around that time? Nah.
Gonna have to push for
Yeah.
an
I'll
answer.
stick. It's wrong, but I'll
Yeah,
go
it
with
is
that.
wrong.
Is
Yeah.
it David James?
No.
I was thinking opposite to you guys. Is it late in their career? So I'm
Ooh.
going to go Seaman.
Scott Carson.
Oh, of
Oh,
course.
yeah,
Yeah, of
there you
course it
go.
is.
Sorry.
Oh, what an
Yeah.
idiot! I knew that as well.
So if I get this, I win. Then is that right?
Yeah, mathematically. You ready for your
Just want a
question?
point.
Let me even pick one of the difficult ones.
There's only two left.
Do you know what's
isn't
really
there?
annoying is I've known all of them.
Hmm.
Now that like that one I got wrong, but
That's
I
really
should I
annoying.
should have 3.
I've known none of them.
Oh, now you're gonna know that one as well. I'll give you this one. Which year did Forest last win the FA Cup?
1959.
Yeah, well done. Ah, he's such a sweat, innit? I wasn't.
But he said it
prepared for
twice, so
Yeah,
it's not
fair enough.
many.
You ready?
Yeah.
Okay.
I will admit mine have been slightly easier than yours.
That's what I thought. All right. Who scored the winner for Spurs in their last trophy win in 2008 against Chelsea at Wembley?
Bentley.
Is that your final answer?
Oh no, that's wrong.
I know it.
Oh, Bentley. Jesus.
Oh dear, Luca.
If it's not Bentley, I know it. I think.
Is that your final answer?
It can't be after that.
After that reaction, it can't be.
Wrong.
Jonathan Woodgate.
Yes.
Do you know now?
Oh, to be fair, he could still
Yeah.
chat with you.
yeah, I
Mm.
just thought that.
So what's the score?
2, 3. No.
No.
Yeah.
3-2. Okay, cool.
I know that because my dad used to have that game on like a DVD.
Oh,
I used
yeah.
to watch it when I was younger. I can just
To
remember.
be fair, we didn't know that you had a Spurs connection before this, so.
Mm.
There you go.
You ready? This is your final question. Unless someone gets it wrong, you can still.
Mhm.
Who is Charlton Athletics' all-time goal scorer?
See, these
Got
are ones
two
where
in
we
my
have
head.
No chance. Absolutely no chance.
You've always got two.
It's either Derek Hales or it potentially could be Jimmy Seed. I'm gonna go. You gave eyes over there, but I don't know which one that was to.
It's neither.
I gave eyes to both.
Seed can't be the answer for two of them, surely.
I thought he was a player and then a manager.
Gonna have to push it.
Yeah, I'll go
Mm.
Derek Hales then, because I said that
Is
first.
that your final answer?
Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah.
Hey.
So what's that?
3-3.
3-3.
No.
So now you have a chance to win this. Alright, final question for you, George. Which club did Forest beat 2-1 on aggregate in the 1980 Super Cup?
Come on.
Yes!
Just came for the hate watch.
He always beats me, so I just
Oh,
need one of you to
mate,
beat
I
him.
should know this.
No, you
It's
shouldn't.
not
You
gonna be
shouldn't.
me.
Someone's telling me Barca, but I don't think it is. Would they have won Barca?
Is that your final
Yeah.
answer? Are you sure?
Yeah.
Correct.
Look at that for a hate watch! Come on!
Oh my god.
Boom! Come
There's
on!
still a chance you can get my Spurs one.
Yeah,
Yeah,
if you get
still
his
draw.
Spurs
Yeah,
one
yeah.
right,
Still
it's a double
draw.
point. Alright, cool.
Oh no, I don't know it. Pass.
You ready? In 2017, Harry Kane became the first player in the Premier League to do what?
2017.
In 2017, Harry Kane became the first Premier League player in league history to do what?
I'm thinking that Leicester game where he scored 4, maybe 4.5.
I think that's been actually. I can't help you. I can't help you.
2017. Was that? Yeah, that was when we were playing at Wembley. 'Cause I remember him scoring 4. But the way you're looking at me that's very wrong.
Going to push for an answer.
Gonna have to push for an answer.
I'll go with that. 4 goals and a half.
Impressive but incorrect.
I'm going to say.
Oh.
You
Whose
might
go
want
is
to
it?
go first.
Oh, yeah, I will go.
No. Well, we'll see what if you've said the same thing.
to be fair.
I was going to say score at Wembley.
I wasn't going to go. I was going to
Oh,
score 30 goals in a season.
English.
Incorrect as well. He was the first player in Premier League history to score 6 calendar year hat tricks.
Oh, I was thinking hatches in my head,
Yeah.
but I didn't. Wow.
Well,
So who's won the quiz?
Ladies
Axel.
and gentlemen, unfortunately, I have to give a clap up for George.
Thank you.
I'm on such hate watch. Nah, man, he actually did really
That
well.
boss, that
Yeah,
is
he
good,
actually
that's-
did really well.
yeah,
Yeah. Nah,
yeah.
to be fair, he did well.
Right, another win for me. We're going to come back
It's too
in a
easy
few
for you.
minutes for segment 3. Hello, welcome back to the press box. Segment 3, we're going to talk about the League One playoff and relegation race, and maybe if we've got time, we're going to talk about some away days. But looking at the race in League One, it's pretty ridiculous for the playoffs. Huddersfield in 5th, 55. Leyton Orient 6th, 53. Charlton 7, 53. Bolton 8, 53. Now this is before last weekend's games as the pod comes out, so this will obviously have all changed. Charlton are in reasonably good form. We lost to Birmingham recently, and apart from that, what's that? 9 or 10 with only that defeat.
We've lost 2 since start of December.
Yeah.
So yeah, good.
Wow.
Some big games to come up with. Now you said you've been quite confident in this pod that Charlton won't make playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
Why are you not confident?
Because I don't want to say it on camera.
Oh,
So that's the thing. Like off camera, I might give you a different answer, but yeah, on camera, I keep saying like, even on the Chronicles and stuff, I get asked it every week. Do I
Yeah.
think we're going up? Genuinely, ask me tomorrow at 5 o'clock.
Okay.
If we win tomorrow, I
We'll
think
give
we'll
you a
do
call. Well, I'll stick it in the
Yeah.
edit. So Leyton Orient away, Barnsley home, Stockport away. They're 3 big games. I think you'll beat Barnsley. What about the other 2 away games as well?
it.
And they
Orient-
might define your season as well.
Orient are always a bit of a. Orient away, we never play well, really. Lost 1-0 there last year, quite late on. They were all over it. That was during our horrendous form, though. But
Is that much of a rivalry? Or not?
I don't want to say it on camera. It's coming out after it. They think it is. I don't think our fans do.
Because
Yeah.
I wouldn't recognise
They don't.
that as
They
a-
don't have any like massive rivals, though, do they?
So they
Like
just
West
forged
Ham,
it
West
with
Ham are
people,
nearby.
yeah.
Southend are Southend have been their biggest
Yeah,
rivals in
Southend
terms
comes
of
to mind.
Dagenham as well,
Mm.
in terms of sort of the level that they've
Yeah.
been around, sort of similar. So I'd say they're their biggest rivals. But then it's a London derby, and it's not. I don't think it's a rivalry.
Yeah.
Like
I've got a lot of the London ones are forged as well. aren't
yeah,
they?
I've got a lot of mates that are Orient fans like, I'm really close with, so obviously like, it adds the extra
Yeah.
bit on the game as well. But yeah, I think ask me tomorrow. Actually, ask me after all 3.
Okay.
After all 3 games.
Stockport away is a tough game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Really
that's
tough
not
game. They're a frustrating team to play. Like when we played them at the Valley, they went 1-0 up and they just sat in time waste. And then we managed to equalise about 60th, 70th minute. Probably should have won that game. I think we hit the post a couple of times as well. But there's been a lot of games this season that I look back on and we've drawn. I think we've drawn how many now? 10,
We've drawn
9, 10?
8.
There you go. 8 and probably
And
about.
not many of them recently, really.
I'd say about 3 or 4 of them we probably should have won.
Yeah.
I mean, we were 2-0 up away at Blackpool, drew 2-2.
Yeah.
Subs killed us that game. And then Barnsley went 2-1 up in the 94th minute, conceded 30 seconds later, 2-2. Reading we drew 0-0 with. We absolutely battered them. So
I just want to see you get to the playoff final and just batter Wrexham.
Yeah.
That'd be a great one.
well, we killed one documentary off with Sunderland
Yeah,
last time,
yeah.
so we'd love to do it again. I would love it. George Dobson's obviously gone to Wrexham now. His dad's they're massive West Ham fans, but Dobbo was our captain last year. His dad came on every game, so I've spoken to him quite a bit, and he thinks it's going to be Wrexham Charlton final. That's what he
Really?
keeps saying. Yeah,
Wow.
I think it's written in the stars.
Who's he supporting? If that's
He is still he's so Charlton. He comes to Charlton games still.
He's got to.
Yeah, but I think obviously your son's playing for Wrexham, so you want
Yeah.
your son to get
did
to
he leave on
Championship.
all right terms, or is it a bit?
That was down to Andy Scott, who's now been sacked. So, yeah,
And probably money.
Yeah.
it was down to the contract they were offering him was poor.
Mm-hmm.
But obviously,
Wrexham
like,
put up
it's
bigger contracts.
it's not my place to speak on
Yeah,
camera,
yeah.
but like, yeah, it was a poor contract that they were offering him. And then he ended up going to he was going to a Hungarian side,
Wow.
And then I think it was a week or two before they were about to move out there, his fiance now said, I don't want to move out. They've got a newborn child. I don't want to move out to Hungary.
Yeah.
So he went out there with lawyers and stuff, got all the contract ripped up,
Really?
and
Wow.
went to Wrexham.
That's a story.
Yeah, that is.
Wow.
Yeah.
So if we take Charlton out of the race then, because I don't think you believe who are we saying is going to get playoffs. I think Reading have got the best defender in the league, Tyler Vinden.
Yeah, good player, very good player. Played DM against us at the
Is he
Valley.
on loan from Forest
Really?
by any
Yeah, he
chance?
played DM against us at the Valley, and he ran that midfield. That's Savage, Harvey Nibbs, and him. That little triangle they create's a joke. Reading's a tough one because I feel like the players are playing extra because of everything going on off the field. New ownership could be done by the end of next month, so potentially they're the ones to watch. For me, it's Bolton.
Yeah.
I think.
It's good that they got rid of that.
I think Wrexham, Stockport, Bolton, Huddersfield in that order.
Yeah.
You reckon Wickham will stay
Yeah,
second?
I do. You got best striker in the league. They've got a good manager in Dodds coming in. Obviously, hasn't got managerial experience, but very, very good coach. And you've got the best striker in the league in Kone.
Yeah.
And goals win you games, don't they? So Birmingham fans won't like me saying that. But
I've got a sneaky feeling Charlton might make it in there, but we'll be thinking
So
of
do
you
I.
when they do.
I just love the.
I don't want to say it.
I love the playoff format.
Yeah.
That's brilliant.
It's if you look at it objectively, it's so unfair,
Oh,
but
yeah.
it's also just brilliant.
Yeah.
Like that's one of my favourite weeks of the footballing year.
Oh, yeah.
Watching all the EFL games.
Because they're structured so you can watch them all.
Yeah.
Aren't they?
Yeah.
I just
That's undoubtedly the best. Like I know Forest. I don't bring
Yeah.
back to Forest. We went up in the playoffs.
Mhm.
I would not. We lost to Bournemouth, and they always bring it up because they went up. I would have taken that Bournemouth loss every day, knowing we'd go up in the playoffs. 'Cause it's incredible.
The way you done it as well
Yeah.
was
I
fantastic.
just think the commentators they've got on are so much better as well.
Yeah,
Daniel Mann.
We're going to do it.
unreal.
We're going to do a commentator episode. I'm going to get you and Connor in.
Okay.
Daniel Mann.
Yeah, the experts
by
in.
far.
Oh, Daniel Mann, what a man!
Do you like Gary Weaver though, or not? I think
I
he's,
don't mind a bit of Gary Weaver.
but Daniel Mann's elite. By far the
If
best.
you
EFL.
look up a highlight reel of Daniel Mann commentary,
it's
just
incredible.
beautiful.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
Right, we'll come. That'll be next week's maybe. Let's switch to the League One relegation battle then.
Mhm.
So we've got Burton, Crawley, Shrewsbury, and Cambridge cut adrift at the minute. I'd say anything above Mansfield is safe. Would you agree with that? Mansfield on 38. So
Yeah.
Burton, you mentioned are in good form. Who's your picks for staying up?
I think Burton will stay up.
Yeah.
I think out that bottom four, I think the bottom three are pretty much down and out.
Yeah.
But I know there's not much in it. But I just think Burton know how to get results now.
Mm-hmm.
That was one thing they were massively struggling. I mean, they went 2 months looking for a new manager.
Yeah.
And just weren't getting results. They had a really good sort of structure, a really good transfer window, brought in a new young sort of coach that's not got too much experience managerial-wise. But it just didn't work out.
Yeah.
And obviously, Bowyer's in there now, and he's doing a fantastic job.
So that means Northampton, Exeter, Bristol, Peterborough, one of them to go down. If I was to choose one, I might say Exeter, but what's your thoughts on?
I'm
Thought
Exeter.
you'd respect Exeter if they take you to penalties.
I just think it'd be hilarious if we struggled that much and they got relegated. So.
I keep saying in terms of those three, we've played them all recently.
If you say Peterborough,
Bristol
I think
Rovers.
he's about to.
Bristol Rovers were poor, but we beat them 2-0.
Mhm.
Peterborough, I think their only attack was the penalty that we gave them, and we beat them 2-1. It was last minute, but we were absolutely battered them, and they were probably the worst I've seen play at the Valley this year. Exeter, we're also poor, but that's the best I've seen Charlton play in a very long time. We won 3-0. It was such a comfortable win. So it's tough to call. I don't know whether they've got to play each other. I'm going to presume they do.
They must do, yeah, at some point.
I'm going to go Peterborough.
Oh,
And
that
would be
send
big for them as
shockwaves.
well.
Yeah.
I mean, I put them in my predictions to finish fourth.
yeah,
Surely, because they've still got Ferguson, haven't they?
Yeah.
Surely that'd be end of him.
Oh, he should be gone by now
Yeah.
anyway.
Yeah.
I mean,
Is it his fourth spell? I think it is, isn't it?
yeah, they're just going to sack him and get McCann in. aren't
McCann,
they?
yeah. Yeah. And finally, you mentioned in the breaks that we got rudely cut off by our director that's now not part of the podcast team anymore, about Cambridge, who are bottom of the league, but you mentioned about a brilliant thing they did with you last year, so do you want to talk to us about that?
So obviously me and Nick did the charity walk last year, and that was Nick's third year doing it. So he walked to Cambridge the first year, done it. Second year he walked to Ipswich. We lost 6-0 away at Ipswich after walking there. I always wind him up on that. And then the year after, I thought I'll give him some company. I just fancied doing it. I tell you what, it wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be. You go through spells of like completely not talking to each other.
Yeah.
But it was actually really, really good, and I didn't have any injuries after. I had one blister, which I thought was quite good going. In terms of I thought Nick was going to be like fine with it all, but he was in agony.
Struggling.
Yeah, it was nice to sit down when you're at the game though.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, they were fantastic. I can't remember his name for the life of me, but I think he was their supporter liaison officer. So he DM'd me and basically said, "I can see you're doing the walk. We'd love to sort of have you on the pitch at half time. We'd love to give you a stadium tour before the game. Get you to meet all the players and stuff." So yeah, sure.
What was it for?
We raised money for Alzheimer's.
Okay.
We raised, I think it was almost $6,000 in the end.
Yeah, wow, that's incredible.
Massive credit to it's the goalkeepers at Charlton that we get on. We've always got on well with the goalkeepers. Ash is a brilliant bloke, and he donated a fair bit, and Harry Ice did as well. I get along well with his dad as well. Still talk to his dad now. He's obviously left, but yeah, he donated a fair bit as well. But yeah, no, they were massive helps in terms of both clubs promoted it. Even the halftime interviews, they put like a QR code up on the board and things like that. So they were a huge benefit to. So I have got a soft spot for Cambridge, and I really like the away day as well. Yeah, it's not too far.
You're far away from the pitch there, aren't you?
Yeah, but I think they're changing it this year, so you get a bit of the terrace on the side now as well.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, so you get a bit of both, but behind the goal's still better.
Yeah.
You got to do the walk again.
Not this year.
Change it up to go somewhere
else.
No?
We want to do a different one. Oh, we actually discussed it because it's the last away game, so we did genuinely discuss it.
Oh, you said you've not booked the train to Stockport.
There's no way.
Gotta leave. I gotta leave tomorrow. Really, yeah. We looked at Peterborough, but it's an international weekend, so I think we might not do that one.
That's not that far though, is it?
No, it's similar to Cambridge.
Yeah.
So wait and see.
Yeah.
I don't think we will do one this year.
Yeah.
But I don't think we will do one this year because I started training around this sort of time last year.
Yeah.
Because we did it in April, and the Peterborough game's the end of next month, so I don't think we could do that one.
Brilliant. Well, I think that's been a brilliant episode, Josh. Have you enjoyed it?
Yeah, definitely. Thank you very much for having me.
We'll get you on. In the break, we were doing like a game where we brought a random Charlton game from any time in the year. So we're going to do one more.
Post-lockdown.
Post-lockdown Charlton game, right? He aced them in the break. Can I do it in front of the camera?
Oh, God.
So we're going to go for Wimbledon against Charlton on the 5th of April, 2022.
21-22. Jackson was in charge. It was 1-1. Ryan Innes got sent off. It was one of the worst challenges I've ever seen. No?
Yeah,
yes,
that's
Wimbledon
correct.
away. Yeah, 1-1.
Scorers, do we know?
Oh, who scored for us? I don't know for them. Who did score for? Got Perrington in my head. Went Perrington.
Jaden Stockley.
Oh, was it It was Perrington or Stockley that I had in my head.
Perrington got booked.
Robinson for them.
Innes with the red card.
You got to get one because you're a star in the play. So let's do MK Dons against Charlton, 17th of August, 2021. Start of the season, 21-22.
We lost. I know that. Oh, did we lose?
You did lose, yeah.
Yeah. You were 1-0 or 2-1. Oh, that's killed. That's early as well.
He's always got two answers, doesn't he?
He has, yeah.
I don't normally for this. This is throwing me off.
Go with your second one.
Was it 2-1?
Yeah. I don't know. Was it 2-1?
It was 2-1.
Yeah, go with your second one always.
Goal scorer again.
Stockley scored for us.
Yeah.
Yeah. I can remember the game. I know that was Nigel Adkins' period, and we were 23rd in all.
Right, you got last. You need to get one.
We've shown you up now because you've done it really well in the break.
Quite memorable.
Under pressure, you've crumbled. You should get this.
Okay.
30th of October 21 at home to Doncaster.
4-0 win.
Yeah, well done. Do you want the scorers or?
Oh, I can't give you a score. Washington scored one.
Washington, Penn, yeah.
Yeah.
Elliot Lee.
Yeah.
Perrington.
And Stockley.
Yeah.
Yes, again.
Okay, I think we'll leave it there. Thank you everybody for watching. If you like the video, make sure to give it a like. Make sure you subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell to be notified when we upload. We'll be back with another press box next week. But until then, we'll see you soon. Goodbye.
Always like doing with like quizzes and stuff.
Yeah.
If you go from post-lockdown, I could tell you any scoreline from Charlton. Like you pick any game.
What, can you actually do that?
Yeah, I can tell you what the score was.
Here we go then. Come on.
What?
I reckon I could do similar.
Have you seen that Chelsea fan?
I could try and do
They
goal
can do that.
scorers.
No.
Literally from like the whole Premier
There's a
League
Wimbledon.
era.
There's a
That's
Did you
mad.
see the Wimbledon one?
Mhm.
Yeah.
What? That's mad.
There's that Plymouth guy as well on the pie face.
Oh, it's
Folks as
Sam.
well. Yeah.
That's mad.
He knows the dates and
Yeah, you can
everything.
do
I can't do
every Plymouth one
dates.
with like the
They
day
go
of the
rough
week
time of
and
year.
the exact date, what time the kickoff was.
Nah,
What-
So
mad.
from
Goals
20,
scored.
21-22 season.
21-22 season.
I've gone 23.
All right.
So.
do earlier.
Right. Well, we'll start off easy then. Apparently, Charlton against Leighton Orient on the 14th of. Oh, it's a friendly. Okay, that's a bit harsh.
That's fine. Was it 1-1?
Yeah.
In Marbella,
Okay,
yeah.
that's ridiculous.
Oh, yeah, this mad.
All right. 2022 EFL Cup
Oh God.
away against Stevenage in the 8th of.
You ready to go, yeah?
If what the Carabao Cup? We drew 1-1 with one on penalties.
What was the penalty score?
Ooh, 5-4. Yeah.
Yeah, he's a jerk. He's a jerk.
All right.
That was the year we played Man United in the quarter final.
Was
Last,
it?
Yeah.
Okay,
last
so
one
that's
because
quite
Ellie's
wrong.
getting angry.
Okay, then
You
last
getting
one.
angry? Yeah, well, I'm going to keep going then.
It's a good thing to include. To be fair.
Yeah, we can put this in.
Yeah.
Not me flagging Ali, but we'll put that in. Charlton against Cambridge on the 11th of December 2021.
21, 1-2-0.
What the hell?
Who
Is he
scored?
right?
Oh, who scored? Gilby?
The player scored twice.
No. Oh, the player scored twice.
Striker.
Oh, Washington.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. We should do a segment about that one week. We'll bring you back and we'll do
That's crazy. How do you remember this?
Include that in the League One news.
I bet I could do similar for Forest though.